Today, I only did $3 field agent gigs, and somehow I ended up with 30 of them, and I completed them in just a few hours. Normally, I do multiple apps at the same time in order to do a side hustle, but in the beginning of the month, field agent could be busy enough for you to do field agent all day long, and that's my favorite time of the month. Most people ignore these $3 gigs, but they really add up if you do them right. These were all pretty much the shelf view gigs, so some of them were really easy and some of them were kind of time consuming. And the first ones that I did were at the dollar stores. These ones were in and out really quickly. If you're doing the field agent side hustle and just starting out, try the ones at the dollar stores because the stores are really small format. And if you have to take a picture of the whole chip section, it's not going to be aisles and aisles and aisles like it is at Sam's Club or Walmart. It'll just be like one or two shelves. So I got those done. The next ones that I did were the ones at the pharmacy stores, CVS and Walgreens. Where I live, there's one on pretty much every corner. So a lot of times when a gig drops, it'll be at every one of these pharmacies. So I got those ones done. Now I'm on to the one where I really make the most money, and this was Sam's Club. I do gigs at Sam's Club almost every day. This Sam's Club alone usually has at least 5 to 10 gigs in one day. On this day, it was the second of the month. The closer you are to the beginning of the month, the busier it will be. And there was at least 8 at this Sam's Club that I could remember. When you're doing multiple gigs at the same store, you're going to want to plan it so that you're not walking back and forth. Get to know the store. So if you had a gig in the electronics section, you would do that first. If you had a gig in the frozen food section, you would do that second. And then if you had a pharmacy, something in the pharmacy, you would do that last because that's by the exit. This way you're doing one lap around the store instead of walking back and forth. This is how you get in and out of the store, make 30 bucks in about 25 to 40 minutes. The next one was at the next couple of gigs were right next to each other, and these were at BJ's and Aldi's. They basically shared the same parking lot, so I got the Aldi's one done. I had 3 gigs. One of them was for the soda. Another one of them was for the chips. Again, Aldi's is another great store to start because it's a small format store and you can get in and out really quickly. Then BJ's was where I had another big chunk of gigs. I had at least 6 to 10 at this BJ's. I go to this BJ's probably almost every other day. This is the second most busiest place in the area that I work. If you're doing these gigs, even if you live in not the busiest area, if you have a BJ's, Sam's Club, Walmart, and supermarkets, there'll be gigs that you could do. And then I got that done. And then I had a few stragglers at 7-Elevens. Again, when a gig drops at 7-Eleven, it'll be at every 7-Eleven. And usually there's a 7-Eleven at every gas station, and you could make a lot of money with these gigs at the 7-Elevens. At this point, I was getting kind of tired, and it was towards the end, so I finally finished the 7-Eleven that was by my house, and then I headed home. So overall, this day I did 30 gigs. It took me roughly 4 hours, maybe a little bit longer, maybe a little bit less. It was the total that I made from this was $90. So $90 in 4 hours. 22.50 an hour. Was it worth it? For me, this is my favorite type of side hustle. I really like when there's enough field agent gigs to keep you busy for half a day or a full day. So I definitely thought it was worth it. It may seem like a lot of pictures. It may take a really long time when you first start, but after you've done a few and get over the learning curve, you could get in and out, take these pictures really fast. So definitely worth it when you're doing side hustles like compared to Uber Eats, DoorDash, stuff like that. $22.50 is a pretty decent hourly wage, and I didn't drive that far. Everything was within 5 miles. You're not always going to have days like this, only towards the beginning of the month. But you could do field agent gigs every day and multi-app it with other apps, and check out this video to see what other apps I recommend.